Hello, everyone. I'm Ann Perry, Michigan Area Director for AFSP, and welcome back to our Wellness Wednesday series. This is our final one that we're doing for 2022, where we've been able to bring on different community partners throughout the month every Wednesday in May, and just kind of able to put a focus and a highlight on what they're doing and the amazing work that's being done in mental health and the suicide prevention space in Michigan. And what better partner to bring on as our final Wellness Wednesday of the month than Dr. Mary of Susie Q's Kids. Hopefully you have heard of Susie Q's Kids and Dr. Mary, as they were our community partner of the year for 2021 and have been a longtime supporter of ours. So welcome, Dr. Mary. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having us. Always a pleasure.
So I think I first met you maybe in 2017. So it's been a while back at the Detroit Walk when you were first involved there. And since then, you know, the relationship, we've built on that and been able to partner quite a bit more. But we'll get more to that later. So I know all about you, but for the folks that don't know anything about you and Susie Q's Kids, why don't you give us an idea of what Susie Q's is all about and how you kind of came to be?
Well, my daughter Susie, she passed away from sepsis back in 2017. But she had family members and friends that were affected by suicide. So we were always advocates for suicide awareness and prevention. And when Susie passed, we formed Susie Q's Kids, a nonprofit, and we put comfort bags into the hands of kids that are in hospitals, shelters, those that are dealing with physical or mental health issues, those that are in foster care, and those that are grieving. So we've just, our family commitment to AFSP has just been furthered with our involvement with Susie Q's Kids.
It's great. And you really fill a much needed spot. You know, we do at AFSP a lot of work in prevention and then postvention, but there's not a lot of work being done in the middle, like when there is a crisis at hand. So I think you fit perfectly in there. What goes into those comfort bags? What might they look like?
Oh, all the kids get a nice soft cuddly panda bear, and then they get a nice warm blanket, a fleece blanket, to wrap them up. So those keep them warm and cuddly. And then they each get a Susie Q duffel bag, and it has coloring books, crayons, Uno cards, Play-Doh, different things to keep them occupied, but also inspirational items to let them know there's other people out there with them, thinking about them, and they're never alone. We're all in this together. And for our shelters and foster care, they also get hygiene items as well.
That's really great. So when did you start? Did you tell me what year was it?
So Susie passed in 2017. We formed the nonprofit late 2018.
Okay.
Got about a year under our belt, then COVID hit us, and now we're just rocking it out. So we're making lives change.
Yeah. Has there been a shift maybe in your focus, or have you changed anything maybe because of the pandemic, or just after getting, you know, your sea legs and figuring out how you wanted to change? Has your course switched at all?
So there's 4 different areas: health, shelters, foster care, and grieving kids. And so with COVID, because we couldn't get into the hospitals, we shifted away from the medical slightly, and put a lot of focus on kids that were going through trauma. So kids that were in shelters, kids that were in foster care that needed our help. And we've also started working with schools and different youth groups to have kids help kids. So having them help package the bags and do donation drives. So we're increasing philanthropy with kids to help them shape the lives of other kids.
That's really great. And then your involvement with us, as I mentioned, started at the Detroit Walk. I think when I met you, it wasn't even then through Susie Q's Kids. But anyway, since then, and so probably then since 2018, you were partnering with us for the Detroit Walk, and then it just kind of naturally evolved. You became involved then with our Oakland, Rochester, Macomb Walk. And then last year, I believe you were at 4 out of our 10 community walks. And your space there was not only with a booth, not just having a table with your resources, but really helping to kind of run and be like our head home base for our kids care zone, which is just what we call the space where families can find activities for children and more resources for kids. So that you've been such an amazing partner in that. You were at our Ann Arbor, Downriver, Oakland, Hardship, Macomb, and Detroit, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and we love having you and your team there. Tell us about what that experience has been like for you to be at those walks.
Oh, just seeing the kids and seeing them get involved with some of the artwork and stuff and know that they're there for a specific reason, right? And then their parents and families are there and they each have a story. So, our main purpose was to let them share their story and give them maybe a few tidbits. And one is we always put our thumbs up in a picture because when we do that and we look back on the picture, that thumbs up makes you recognize that you thought of your loved one when you took your picture.
Oh,
So it signifies every birthday, holiday, whatever it is. And as we sat at the walk and they were getting ready to take off to actually walk, there were just little pockets of people everywhere doing this and smiling. And I'm like, oh, we touched lives that day.
I love that. Well, Dr. Mary, if people want to learn more about your work and about Susie Q's kids, where can they find that out?
Oh, very easy. You can check us out at susieqskids.org, and it's SUSIEQSKIDS.
And we'll make sure to drop that link below. Thank you so much for being on with us today. It kind of just happened to be and happened very organically that all four of our guests for Wellness Wednesday this year had something to do with kids. And I just kind of love that as the school year is wrapping up and we know that, we need to reach children and parents and educators with all of our work. And it's such an important place for us all to be. And we know, as I've said, in, a few other Wellness Wednesdays, it's so important for us to partner with community-based groups such as yourself who are out there doing the boots on the ground work. And we value those partnerships very much. So I'm sure we know that there's going to be more that we'll be working on together. And we hope to see you at the walks this fall again, for sure.
Absolutely. And if anybody stops by, we did write a book that we share with kids for grieving. And so it gives them a chance to be able to get a concept, which really helped kids to grasp what was going on. So
It's great. And a lot
yeah.
of times parents are looking for books. So that's wonderful. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in. If you'd like to check out, if you missed any of our other series that we did, any of our other programs, we'll call them, we saw our guests from OK to Say, Caleb's Kids, and the Wellness Warriors of Rochester Hills, and then, of course, Dr. Mary with Susie Q's. And you can find all those videos on our YouTube channel or over in the video segment of our Facebook page. And we will be back again next year with other community partners. Thank you all so much. Thanks, Dr. Mary.
Bye. Take care.